Shrishtam manamapi Shachiputram atra surupam Rupam tasya gajamuripurim Maturim Goshtvatim Radha Kundam Girivaram O Radhika Madhuvasam Prabhu Yasya Pratitakpaya Shri Guru Tam Natosmi Gurave Gaurachandraya Radhikaya Tadali Krishnaya Krishna Bhaktaya Tad Bhaktaya Namo Namah. First of all, I offer my heart like flowers thousands and thousands of times at the feet of my Holy Master, my supremely worshipable spiritual Guru, Srila Bhaktivedanta Narayan Goswami Maharaj. Secondly, I bow down to the teacher of my teacher, my grandfather Guru, and to his Guru, and to his Guru, and his Guru, and all the divine masters in the disciplic succession, going back thousands and thousands of years to Sri Krishna. And finally, I offer my pranam to all of you, my dear brothers and sisters. Vanchakalpatarubhastha Kapasana Vaishnava. Our seminar today is entitled Sing Your Way to Enlightenment. So everyone just now has had some experience of this kirtan. The word kirtan means glorification of God. And what we are performing is called in Sanskrit Sankirtan. It's the word sang means together. That many souls come together and in harmony their voices join together and glorify the Supreme Being. So it's called Sankirtan. And Sam also means in Sanskrit complete. The implication is that this congregational singing of the divine names is a complete spiritual process. Being complete, it is independent. It does not depend on your gender, your age, your race, your education or lack of education, your IQ or lack of IQ, or any qualification. It does not depend on wealth. It does not depend on any past experience. It does not depend on which body your soul is in, because there are many different species of life. Now you're all very fortunate to have this human form of life on earth. So, all living beings can participate and be benefited by Sankirtan, the complete glorification, which is independent also of other practices. So there may be so many other practices such as prayer, fasting, performance of rituals, sacrifice, worship, study. But this chanting of the holy names is Sankirtan. Complete and independent process. It can bestow all perfection just by itself. What is that perfection? Prem, only love. Only love. Just like here is a garland. And you can see the flowers of this garland. But there's a part of the garland that you cannot see. And that is the sutra, the thread inside, which is holding everything together. So in the same way, Nama Prema Malaganti Parayala Sangsari. The meaning is that the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Sri Krishna, and his Shakti, his power of love, Radha, combined together in the incarnation Sri Chaitanya. And Sri Chaitanya did a wonderful thing. He took the flowers of these names, Hare, Krishna and Rama. And just as you can see, there's a sequence here. There's some leaves and then flower and then leaves and then a flower. So they're arranged alternatively. So he took these three names, Hare, Krishna and Rama, and arranged them in a pattern. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare. So in this way, he made a garland of the vibration of the divine names. Because when you get to the end, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, then Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. But inside this, there was a thread, a sutra. And that is a Prem Sutra. Divine love. And Sri Chaitanya offered this mantra to the whole world. So, in Vedic culture, if someone makes a garland, they sit there patiently choosing the flowers, choosing the leaves. And it takes a long time, each step to make the garland. And when you're making a garland, the meditation is that you're making this for someone whom you love, to honor them. And then when the garland is ready, then you can go in. Okay. So, to give a garland is an expression of honor, it's an expression of love. So Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he made a garland of this Maha Mantra with the Prem, with the love inside it. And Parayala Sangsari, he offered that to the whole world, to all of us. It's as an act, expression of love. So, when that garland touches us, then the love, the divine love which is inside the garland of the mantra, is infused into our consciousness. So when we sing in Kirtan, we are accepting this gift, the divine gift of transcendental love, and becoming infused in that. So, from outside, someone may be watching. What are they doing? Beating drums, dancing gracefully, singing. Okay, I'll try that. And people join in. But what are we doing? There's a very profound philosophy behind this. We're not like trying to get tribal and, connect with the earth, or doing some kind of social ritual that we all bond together or something like that. No, that's not what we're doing. Rather, this chanting, this Sankirtan, is meant to elevate our consciousness, to uplift us beyond our conscious absorption in the earth, in the element of earth, in the gross matter. The absorption of our consciousness in this physical body. Even to elevate our consciousness beyond the confine of the material mind. In the Bhagavad Purana, there's a history there of an avatar, Hamsa avatar, swan incarnation. And once some yogis, they posed a question to the Hamsa avatar. They said, our mind is naturally attracted to the external objects of the world. And the external objects of the world naturally come and live as impressions within our mind. So there's a natural relationship between the mind and the physical world. So how can we achieve the perfection of yoga? By detaching our mind from the external world, if they're so naturally related to each other. It seems unnatural. So then the Hamsa avatar gave the reply that the perfection of yoga does not involve detaching the mind from the external objects of the senses. The perfection of yoga involves detaching you from your mind. So this is the meaning of mantra. Man means mind, and tra means deliver. That vibration which delivers our consciousness from its complete absorption in the gross physical and subtle psychological elements that are covering our soul. And when the soul becomes free from that entanglement, then the possibility arises to have a vision of divinity. So, we'll go back thousands of years. In the Rig Veda, there is a mantra. Om Asya Jananto Nama Chidviviktam Mahaste Vishnu Sumatim Bhajamahi Om Tat Sat. In this mantra, some sages are praying, my Lord, we don't understand you clearly, who you are. We don't understand the nature of your existence. But we are very inspired. Why? Because Nama Chit Viviktan, the vibration of your name is transcendental. It is directly your very self. And simply by the Aksha Abhyas, that means the repetition of the syllables, Ha, Re, Krishna, these are syllables. Simply by the repetition of the syllables, though we don't clearly understand you, but we'll attain crystal clear, pure knowledge of you, your form, your qualities, your associates and your divine realm. Why? Because Om Tat Sat. Om is the name of God. Om means name, the name of God. Patanjali also in his Yoga Sutras, Tasya prana vachaka pranava. The syllable Om is a name of God. Actually, it's composed of 3 letters. A, U, and Ma. So in the Padma Purana, it said, Akara uchate Krishna savalokaika nayaka ukara uchate radha makara jiva vachakaha. The meaning is that the letter A represents Krishna. The letter U means Urja, Shakti, that is Radha or Hare. And the letter M represents Jiva, Makara Jiva Vachaka, you, the soul. So the syllable Om represents the loving relationship between the soul and the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Krishna, and his energy of love, Sri Radha. So Om Tat Sat. Tat. Om is Tat, the truth, reality. And that Om is Sat. The word Sat means Swata Siddha or Swayam Prakash, self-manifesting. In other words, when one begins to serve God in the form of uttering the holy names, then those names themselves are self-luminous and they reveal themselves. Therefore, the transcendental knowledge that comes from Sankirtan, chanting, is not dependent on anything. Just like the sun in the sky reveals himself. So in the same way, the vibration of the mantra reveals himself to that person who is serving with humility. So we have given an example of the theology of the holy name from very ancient times, from the Rig Veda. Now we want to give another example. In the Vishnu Purana, there it is described that the holy names, the mantra of Krishna is Kalpana Rohita. Kalpana Rohita. Now this is very deep. It will require your full attention. Someone may pose the question, what's the difference between chanting Krishna or chanting someone else's name? Jose, Mikhail, Antonio. Can we just chant any name that we like? Because it's the same, right? It's just some sound vibration coming out of your throat. Okay, so the Vedic literature gives a very deep answer to this question. It said that all names, all words, they are symbols that have been used to describe either a substance, a quality, a category, or an activity. Dravya, gun, jati, or kriya. A substance, a quality, a category, or activity. For example, you look at this liquid in this bottle, right? So the substance, it has the liquid is a particular substance, and its quality is liquidity. Its activity is that it flows, or it quenches your thirst. So its category, or it's in the category, many categories. It's an element, water. It's in the category of liquid, in the category of drinks, whatever, like this. So all words that we use are in one of these four categories. But when we perceive something, in the Nyaya Sutras of Gautam Rishi, and this is accepted also in other philosophers in India, when you first look at something, in your consciousness there's a raw, unfiltered experience of that object for a moment. And then your buddhi, your intelligence, begins to analyze it and identify what is this object. So the first experience of the object just came before your eyes. That is called the Nirvikalpa Pratyaksh. Pratyaksh is a perception, but Nirvikalpa, your intelligence hasn't approached the subject and begin to analyze and identify it. Yes. Now it happens so fast that we don't realize it. We see something, at once our intelligence begins to analyze it and identify what category it's in, what substance it is, what its qualities are, what its activities are. And then, after the intelligence has done vikalpa, that experience is called the savikalpa pratyaksha. So we have first nirvikalpa pratyaksha, an experience which is not mediated by the intelligence, buddhi. Nirvikalpa. And then we have savikalpa pratyaksha. Then we identify what category it's in. And then after that we give a name to it. It's mineral water. Like that. You see, the sages, those who are deeply absorbed in meditation, they can understand the very fine workings of the human mind. You see? For us everything goes fast. And our consciousness is not so fine that we can see the mechanics of our own internal thoughts. But those who are advanced in consciousness in meditation, they understand how everything is going on. So all the names that we use, they take place after the kalpana or vikalpa, the analysis of the element of buddhi. That is part of your psychological body. Now, the names of God, the names of Krishna, the transcendental names, they are called Kalpana Rohita. They are not involved in this process. Why is that? Because, first of all, before the universe was manifest, before the creation, before buddhi existed, so God, Krishna and His name existed. So we cannot say that the vibration Krishna is coming after the Kalpana. This is one thing. And then there's another reason. The other reason is this, that if you don't see any water, but I just say to you the word water, then when you hear that sound, then your mind, your intelligence begins to function and go back to a previous experience where you first were told, this is called water. And so when you hear the vibration, before the image of water comes in your mind, you go through another vikalpa. Right? You bring to the service of your consciousness your previous identification of that substance. So the vibration of the names of Krishna is not like that, because it's vikalpa rahit. And the meaning is this, that if a person is offenseless, if they are not critical and hypocritical in nature, when the vibration of the divine name goes in the ear, then without the mind analyzing it, then something takes place called jatiti pratita. That means an immediate manifestation of the object referred to by the name. Immediate. Now the problem is that actually we are very hypocritical, very crooked, very deceitful, and offensive. So at first we don't experience this. But if a person will with great humility serve their spiritual master and give honor to all living beings without committing violence, physically or psychologically, to anyone, and be very, very tolerant, and their mind becomes steady and peaceful, then when this vibration enters into the ear, Krishna, then at once, not a picture of a bottle of water appears, but you can see a very beautiful boy playing on a flute, hair decorated with peacock feathers, his complexion like a fresh monsoon cloud. Yes. Decorated with beautiful flowers and ornaments in a divine forest. So, the vibration of the holy name gives a pratyaksh, a direct perception of transcendental reality. And when the soul begins to experience the personality, the divine form of Sri Krishna, then gradually an intense taste and attachment to Krishna awakens. Deep attachment, and it transforms into divine love. And this is how the Sankirtan, the chanting of the holy names, leads to the experience of Krishna Prem. Transcendental love for Krishna, which is the perfection of our life. So I want to, first we gave an example of the theology of mantra from the Rig Veda. Then we gave another example from the Puranas, also ancient literature, describing something of the science, the psychology of the Sankirtan. So now I want to come a little bit more to more modern times. Now we're coming to, not exactly modern, but medieval. 16th century. Now we come to some poetry from 16th century. Akristi krita chetasam sumanasam uchchatanam chammasam achandalama mukhaloka sulabo vasascha mukti sriya no diksham na cha satkriyam na cha purascharayam managikshate Mantrena rasana sprigeva falati Sri Krishna namatmakaha. In this Sanskrit poem that is being compiled by the great saint Rupa Goswami in his compilation, his anthology called the Padyavali. There it is said, Akristi krita chetasam sumanasam. The meaning is this. There are certain transcendentalists whose consciousness has become liberated from the physical plane. Completely. And they're in samadhi, in trance. But they have no realization of God. They're experiencing only light. In fact, in that state is called the Nirvikalpa Samadhi. In other words, there's no recognition of any substance, qualities, activities or categories. There's only light. In fact, that stage of nirvikalpa samadhi is such that we cannot say even that they are experiencing light. Why? Because in that nirvikalpa samadhi, that trance, it's such that even the duality of subject and object has been dissolved. So there's no individual consciousness to experience the light. So it's said that the experience of Brahman, the light, is really nirakar, formless, nirvishesh, having no character. It's anirvachaniya, it's indescribable. Because all of our language depends on, if you make a sentence, there's a subject and a verb, and some adverbs, an object, and some adjectives like this. So all of our language is based on this subject-object duality. So what can you say about that nirvikalpa samadhi? So those persons who are experiencing that, like whom? Shukadeva Goswami, in his younger life, there was a great sage, Shukadeva Goswami. He was completely absorbed in the light of Brahman. He would just walk around completely naked because he had no idea what his body was doing even. Swabhavas tu pravartate. The bodily functions were just going on due to some samskars. But himself he was just in the endless light of Brahman. So such persons, their senses don't touch the world, and they have no attachment or aversion to anything. Even when they're in their trance, if you take a gun and hold it next to their ear and go "Pum," they won't hear anything. They're just completely detached. But what happened to Shukadeva Goswami? So, akristi kritachaitasam suramasam sumanasam. The meaning is that when the vibration of the name of Krishna and description of Krishna touched his soul, then he came out of his trance and was attracted to that. Not only him, but other great sages who were absorbed in Brahman, like Sanat Kumar, Sanandan Kumar, Sanak, the four sages, and many other persons in the ancient history of India, persons who were liberated from the physical plane, when they heard the vibration of Krishna's name, they came out of their samadhi. Who is this wonderful person? How can I find him? How can I meet him? I want to serve him. And what does it mean? Ordinary persons in this world, because they're very covered, so they can't make much distinction between the vibration Krishna and Jose or Antonio. But persons who are liberated from any material covering, if you say Jose or Antonio, they can't even hear it. Because they're consciously involved in matter. So when they hear the vibration, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, they become mad in ecstasy. Because they can discriminate. It's not a material vibration at all. Just like at night when you're asleep and you're dreaming, so you're going here and there and talking and interacting with people in your dream, but then you hear this noise, beep beep, beep beep, beep beep, and you wonder, what's that? And then you go, oh, I'm just dreaming. And that sound is not coming from within the dream, it's coming from outside. But it takes a few moments to, what's that sound? And then You come out of that dream state and then you transition into the waking state, and then you see that that sound that you thought was part of your dream, you discover actually it wasn't. It was part of another level of consciousness. So in the same way, when you first hear this vibration, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, then what's that? It's a song, like so many other songs. But as you go on hearing and meditating and singing day by day, then you begin to transition from the conditioned, the material consciousness into divine consciousness. And in that state we can understand that the name of Krishna is not just his name, it is Krishna. It's Krishna himself. So that is called the Abhinna Bhav. Abhinna means non-different, and Bhav means a mood. So this is very important. When you go into the kirtan, don't come there to enjoy and shake yourself around and whatever, loosen up, whatever. No. When you come into the kirtan, you have to have the Abhinna Bhav. That is the mood that this vibration is directly God himself. But I'm blind. I'm not seeing that now. So I have to become immersed in that vibration of the kirtan. And gradually, my spiritual eyes will open. So this is the first step. When you go into become involved in the kirtan, you must hold a very firm Abhinna Bhav. The mood that the mantra is directly Krishna himself. Then, another thing. One should not think that I am producing this vibration. We're very used to this. That we want to speak, and then by our will, our tongue is controlled in a particular way that the words we want to say come. And so we can say that those words are jivhadin in Sanskrit. Jiva means tongue and adin means subordinate. So in our ordinary speech, we consider that our words are jivhadin, subordinates, they're under the control of our sense of speech, the tongue. But when we become involved in the kirtan, that idea you have to put aside. You have to think, I'm making psychologically a mistake. That is a mistake of egotism. That I can produce this sound. It can be true that you can make a material sound. But the material sound is not the transcendental mantra. For the transcendental mantra to appear, we have to give up aham mamadi paramo namni sopya parada krit. This is the last obstacle to chanting purely and experiencing the divine name. To maintain aham mamadi, I, the egotism related to the body, mama and mine. I am this physical form and psychological form and these things. This is my house, this is my car, this is my credit card, this is my family, my having possessiveness, these mental constructs. Aham mamadi paramo. Param means best or superior. So when you speak some words, what is superior? You or the words? You? They're your words, you're speaking them. Right? But when you utter the mantra, what is superior? You or God? So, aham mamadi paramo namni sopya parada krit. The last obstacle to the divine experience is to think that I am in control of the chanting, but rather our awareness should be inverted. That means turned upside down. To be honest, our conception is already upside down. To invert it means we need to turn our conception the right way up. That is, that the mantra is not Jiva Adin, under the control of my tongue. But my tongue should become Nam Adin, under the control of the mantra. In other words, that our senses become the channel, become the conduit for the appearance of the independent Supreme Lord Sri Krishna. And so I want to present one more poem, very beautiful. Tunde tandavani ratim vitanute tandavali labdaye kana kroda kadambini gadayate kana budevyas priham chaita prangana sangini vijayate savindriyanam kritim no jane janita kyadvir amrita krishneti varna dvai. The meaning is, one saint is saying, when I chant the name of Krishna, then I am not chanting. But it seems that Krishna himself is coming and dancing on my tongue. And at that time, I think, alas, alas, why do I only have one tongue? I want to have millions and millions of tongues to experience Krishna appearing and dancing there in the form of this name. And then, when Krishna as the form of sound dances on my tongue, then that sound goes into my ears. So this is I have one tongue, so it's better that I don't have one ear, I've got two ears. So that's better. But when this divine vibration enters into my ear, then I think, alas, why do I have only two ears? I want millions of ears to hear this sweet name. And when this vibration goes in my ear and then touches my heart is like a courtyard, a beautiful terrace in a forest. And the form of Krishna appears dancing there. And when Krishna appears in my heart dancing there, all my external senses become inert, jad. That means I go into samadhi, into deep trance. I become transferred into the spiritual plane by the independent, self-willed appearance of Krishna in the form of mantra. So this is Sankirtan. So we're describing in the previous verse, Akristi kritachetasam, liberated persons are attracted to this Sankirtan. They give up liberation, nirvana. They spit on nirvana. They think nirvana is like hell. The sound of the name of Krishna liberates them from being liberated. Because in that nirvana, in that experience of light, there's no love. Because for love to exist, there has to be at least two. One to love the other and to love back. And if there's many and they all love, then it's most wonderful. But in Brahman, then what is there? No love at all. So for one who has love, to live in the plane where there's no experience of love, this is worse than, at least in hell you can chant Hare Krishna and love Krishna. So akristi kritachetasam sumanasam uschartanam chamhasam. Uschartanam chamhasam means that each and every person is experiencing their karma in this world. Your destiny is unfolding according to your karmic schedule that was designed by the activities of your previous life. And no one can escape that karma. The heavy suffering is waiting for us. It's hanging by a thread, about to fall on everyone. Right? Everyone's going to die. Raise your hand if you're not going to die. Raise your hand if you're not going to grow old. Right? Raise your hands if you're not going to get a disease or sickness, or many of them, between now and the end of this life. Right? No one can say. So our karma is in a queue waiting to assail us. But here, uchchatanam chammasam. That karma also means the next life, the next life. That is also arranged. Because our karma is very big and many future lives are already planned. But here, Srila Rupa Goswami is saying, as soon as the holy name touches your tongue, it destroys all your karma. The Vedas say that there's a god of death, Yamaraj, and he has a secretary. So the secretary of the god of death, his name is Chitragupta, and he writes down in his scrolls everything that you do. So it's said that as soon as the name of Krishna touches a person's tongue, then Chitragupta, who is keeping a record of your life activities, his pen stops. And he takes his pen from the scroll. And he thinks, oh, I had written this person's name in the list of impious people. But now I have to draw a line through it and write them in another column. In the column of the liberated. This poem is saying that as soon as the vibration of the mantra touches the tongue, then there are demigods in higher planes. And they understand that when you die, you will not take birth again according to karma. Because the name of Krishna has destroyed all your karma. So your soul, when you leave your body, will travel past the higher planetary systems, past all the gods and angels. Go through the covering of the universe and go to the spiritual world. So Lord Brahma, he's the highest of all the demigods, on the highest planet in the universe. And as soon as a person on earth just says, then Brahma, he stops what he's doing and he prepares some incense and a candle and he gets everything ready to do a puja, to offer arati, because he knows very soon that soul will go to the spiritual world and he just wants to offer a candle to them as they're going past. So this is the power of the holy name. It's available to everyone, any person. It's even available to people who can't speak. Even if you're dumb, why? Just come in the kirtan, you can hear everyone else singing. Because the vibration has the same effect on those who speak and those who hear as well. And that's why the devotees of Krishna, they like to chant and dance not only just together in a room, but just go everywhere. Go to the beach, go to the marketplace, go to the middle of the town where there are lots of people. Because the vibration, anyone it touches, they'll also become liberated and have opportunity to enter into the path of devotion. So no diksham na cha satkriyam. It doesn't depend on any ritualistic ceremonies. The moment the name touches your lips, then the effects begin to work. That means at once you can be liberated from your karma. But if you want to get the full fruit of chanting, then it is necessary to receive diksha. That means to be initiated by a spiritual teacher who has the anubhuti, realization of the power of the holy name. So one should find a very qualified teacher and receive the mantra in your right ear, and with the instructions how to overcome the different psychological obstacles which stand between us and the vision of the beauty of Krishna and the beauty of the spiritual world and the divine love of all the beings in that plane. So, thank you for listening very patiently.